Did you know that in Japan, there's actually a law that regulates your waistline? Yes, it's called a metabo law. Companies literally track the waist measurements of employees over 40, not to shame them, but to encourage better health. When I first learned this, I was stunned. Imagine a country where people rarely talk about diets, yet their national obesity rate is less than 1/10 of what it is in the West. It made me wonder, how are they doing this so effortlessly? I still remember that moment I sat in a small ramen shop in Tokyo, surrounded by people enjoying steaming bowls of noodles, rice, tempura, and not a single one looked overweight. I felt this mix of admiration and curiosity. How can they eat more carbs, yet stay so lean, vibrant, and metabolically young? Meanwhile, in most Western countries, even the most healthy eaters struggle with cravings, bloating, or weight gain. That curiosity sent me deep down a rabbit hole, studying their habits, their timing, their rituals around food. And what I discovered completely changed how I think about fat loss, because it's not just about what they eat, it's how they live. Their approach to movement, mindfulness, and mealtime is the secret sauce. And when you adapt those same principles into a carnivore or low-carb lifestyle, the results can be insane. So, what are these hidden cultural habits that keep the Japanese naturally slim? And how can they help you burn fat without counting calories or fighting hunger? Have you ever noticed how some cultures seem to stay effortlessly lean no matter what they eat? Let's unpack the 3 Japanese secrets that can transform your fat loss journey, even if your plate is full of steak instead of sushi. There's a quiet wisdom woven into Japanese culture, something they call Harahachibu, which simply means eat until you're 80% full. It's a phrase you'll hear from elders in Okinawa, one of the world's longest living communities, and it's more than just a diet rule. It's a philosophy. It teaches you to stop eating not when you're stuffed, but when you're satisfied. What's fascinating is that science now confirms what they've intuitively practiced for centuries. When you give your body that little space between fullness and excess, you trigger powerful metabolic benefits. Better insulin sensitivity, improved digestion, and more stable hunger hormones like leptin and ghrelin. When we eat too fast or to complete fullness, our satiety hormones can't catch up. It takes roughly 15 to 20 minutes for the brain's hypothalamus to register that the stomach has had enough. But if you slow down, chew more, breathe, savor each bite, you give your brain time to align with your body. That's the essence of Harahachibu. And when you bring that principle into the carnivore lifestyle, it becomes even more powerful. Because when you're eating nutrient-dense, fatty meats, your body naturally produces stronger satiety signals. Protein and fat directly stimulate peptide Y and cholecystokinin, hormones that tell your brain, I'm full. By eating slowly and attentively, you enhance that feedback loop, teaching your body to stop when energy needs are met rather than out of habit or emotional triggers. Try this. Use chopsticks for your ribeye or eggs, even if it feels odd at first. It slows you down just enough to notice the subtle signals. Or try eating without screens, no phones, no distractions, just you and your meal. Pay attention to how your breathing slows, how your body feels halfway through. You might realize that what you once thought was hunger was really just momentum. The reflex to keep eating because the plate isn't empty. The Japanese don't rely on willpower. They rely on awareness. Their meals are smaller, calmer, more intentional. They pause, they taste. And that pause, that breath before the next bite is where the magic happens. Over time, this habit reshapes not only your waistline, but also your relationship with food. You begin to eat in harmony with biology rather than against it. So the next time you sit down to eat, ask yourself, do you truly know when your body is satisfied, or have you simply been trained to overeat? In Japan, eating isn't just about the food, it's about the state of mind you bring to the table. Before each meal, it's common to pause, bow slightly, and say itadakimasu, which translates to I humbly receive. It's not just politeness, it's gratitude. Meals are eaten calmly, without rushing, and always with presence. No phones, no walking while eating. Even in busy Tokyo, people pause to truly be with their food. That calm environment does something powerful. It regulates the nervous system. When your body feels safe, cortisol drops, digestion improves, and hunger becomes clear and authentic. Now contrast that with how most of us eat in the West. Standing, scrolling, driving, talking, often in a hurry. Food becomes background noise, not nourishment. And when stress builds, we use food to cope. Cortisol, the stress hormone, mimics hunger. It makes you crave quick comfort, usually salty or sweet, because cortisol spikes dopamine, the pleasure neurotransmitter. For a moment, you feel relief. But what follows is guilt, fatigue, and hormonal confusion. Your body stops trusting your hunger cues because they've become emotional echoes, not physical needs. The Japanese have mastered something we've lost: the art of emotional awareness through food. Calm, slow eating creates a feedback loop with your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest state. It tells your body you're safe. You can absorb. You can feel full. That's when digestion works best and fat storage drops. If you're eating carnivore, this is where mindfulness becomes your superpower. Because fat and protein are incredibly satiating, you don't need to eat constantly. Try spacing your meals 3 to 4 hours apart. It teaches your body to burn stored energy between meals. When hunger hits, pause and ask, is this real hunger or emotional noise? Often, a glass of water or a few bites of fatty meat will answer that question instantly. Real hunger builds slowly and feels grounded in your body. Emotional hunger hits suddenly, often with restlessness or a craving for distraction. You can also rewire your habits with small rituals. Sit before eating, breathe deeply, express gratitude even if it's silent. Savor your food, not just its flavor, but its purpose. Every bite of steak, every sip of broth becomes a message to your body you're nourished, not deprived. Over time, this rewiring changes your hormonal rhythm. Ghrelin, the hunger hormone, becomes more predictable. Leptin sensitivity improves. Emotional eating fades because your nervous system is finally calm enough to listen. So here's something to reflect on. How often do you truly eat out of hunger? And how often is it out of habit, stress, or emotion? There's a word the Japanese live by that completely transforms how they approach health and success: kaizen. It means continuous improvement, and it's one of the most powerful mindset shifts you can make if you want sustainable fat loss. Instead of chasing extremes like crash diets, detoxes, or week-long workout frenzies, kaizen teaches that true progress comes from small, consistent actions repeated daily. In Japan, this principle shows up everywhere, from how they train employees to how they move through daily life. It's the quiet belief that even a 1% improvement today compounds into something extraordinary over time. Western culture often praises intensity, going all in, burning out, and starting over. But that all or nothing approach is why so many people stay stuck. The body thrives on rhythm, not chaos. In Japan, people walk or cycle to work, stand on trains, and take stairs without thinking of it as exercise. This low intensity, consistent activity increases something called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, the calories your body burns from everyday movement. It might sound small, but NEAT can account for up to 15 to 30% of your daily energy expenditure. That's the hidden fat loss engine the Japanese keep running all day long without ever stepping into a gym. From a metabolic perspective, these small movements improve mitochondrial function and insulin sensitivity. They keep blood sugar stable and prevent energy crashes. Now, when you pair that with a carnivore diet, nutrient-dense protein, stable energy, minimal cravings, it becomes the ultimate formula for sustainable fat loss. You don't need to chase exhaustion. You just need to stay in gentle motion and keep showing up. Think of it like this: one perfectly cooked steak, eaten mindfully, fuels your body with the right raw materials. A slow evening walk afterward helps your muscles use that fuel efficiently. A good night's sleep locks in recovery and fat oxidation. It's all connected. The calm rhythm of eating, moving, and resting creates metabolic harmony. That's kaizen in action. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. Just make one small upgrade every day. Stand more, breathe deeper, go for a 10-minute walk after meals, stretch while cooking. Those micro habits are invisible to most people, but they're what separate long-term results from short-term effort. Over time, your metabolism adapts to this gentle consistency, burning more fat even when you're at rest. The beauty of kaizen is that it removes the pressure to be perfect. It gives you permission to progress slowly but steadily. Because your body doesn't want extremes, it wants balance. And when you honor that, fat loss stops feeling like a fight and starts feeling like alignment. So ask yourself, what's one small daily change that's made the biggest difference in your fat loss journey? In 2008, Japan introduced something the world had never seen before. The metabolic law, it set official waistline limits for adults 33.5 inches for men, 35.4 for women. At first glance, it sounds strict, even intrusive. But in Japan, it's not about punishment, it's about collective responsibility. Companies and local governments monitor waist measurements to encourage healthier habits, offer nutrition guidance, and reduce lifestyle diseases before they begin. What's fascinating is that it worked. Japan maintains one of the lowest obesity rates in the world. The real magic isn't the law itself, it's the Zeka mindset behind it, the belief that health isn't just a personal journey, but a shared duty. In the West, we often think of health as an individual challenge, a battle of willpower. But in Japan, health is woven into the social fabric. People walk together after meals, eat in groups, and respect routines that support longevity. There's pride in maintaining balance because it reflects on the community as a whole. When you know others are watching, supporting, and walking beside you, consistency becomes second nature. That's accountability. Not through shame, but through connection. You can bring that same principle into your own life without a law. Create your version of metabo mindset. Surround yourself with people who value growth, who remind you of your goals when you drift. Join an online group of others living the carnivore lifestyle, or start a challenge with a friend. 30 days of mindful eating, daily walks, or tracking non-scale victories. Accountability doesn't need to be public. It just needs to be shared. Because when you know someone else cares about your progress, discipline feels lighter. Science backs this up too. Studies show that our habits are contagious. If your close friends are active, you're far more likely to be active. If they eat mindfully, you'll naturally follow suit. That's the psychology of social norms. Your environment shapes your default behavior far more than your willpower ever could. This is why Japanese culture sustains healthy habits generation after generation. The environment is designed for it. It's not harder to stay healthy there, it's easier not to fall off track. So think about your surroundings. Do they support the version of you you're trying to become? Are the people around you pushing you toward growth or keeping you comfortable where you are? Create your environment intentionally. Place reminders of your goals where you can see them. Share your wins. Celebrate others doing the same. Build a circle where wellness is the norm, not the exception. Because in Japan, health isn't one person's job, it's everyone's responsibility. Imagine how different your journey would look if your circle treated wellness the same way. There's something deeply calming about Japanese design. The clean lines, open spaces, and quiet elegance. Behind it lies a philosophy called sashibui, finding beauty in simplicity, and efwabi sabi, embracing imperfection and impermanence. Together, they form the heart of Japanese minimalism, not just in art or decor, but in how people live, eat, and care for themselves. This simplicity isn't emptiness, it's freedom. Freedom from excess noise, clutter, and distraction. And that freedom has a direct link to health and weight loss. When your environment and habits are simple, your nervous system relaxes. Decision fatigue disappears. Cortisol levels drop. Suddenly, you're no longer juggling endless food choices, diet rules, or mental negotiations about what to eat next. The Japanese instinctively understand this. Meals are small, structured, repetitive, not boring, but dependable. There's peace in routine. And this same principle is what makes the carnivore diet so powerful. It's minimalism for your biology. By simplifying your food choices to nutrient-dense animal foods, you remove the chaos of modern eating. No macros to count, no ingredient lists to decode. No emotional attachment to sugar or novelty. Your body gets clear signals: eat, nourish, stop. This clarity lowers inflammation and stabilizes hormones like cortisol and insulin, both of which are tied to belly fat storage and stress-related eating. The fewer decisions your brain has to make, the more energy it has to stay consistent. Think of it this way. The mind and metabolism thrive on rhythm. Simple morning rituals like sipping salt water, journaling gratitude, or stepping outside for sunlight Set your stress hormones on the right track for the day. Grounding your feet to the earth or taking a mindful breath before meals teaches your nervous system safety and calm. 2 things essential for fat loss. You don't need 1,000 supplements or complex routines. You need alignment between body and mind. In Japan, homes are tidy not for aesthetic perfection, but for emotional clarity. The same applies to health. When your diet schedule and thoughts are uncluttered, your body follows suit. You digest better, sleep deeper, and make choices from awareness, not anxiety. Minimalism isn't about restriction, it's about creating space for what truly matters. Energy, focus, and peace. This doesn't mean you must give up everything. It means you keep what nourishes you. The foods, habits, and people that add calm instead of chaos. Because when your inner world is uncluttered, fat loss stops being about effort and starts being about flow. So take a moment and ask yourself what clutter in your daily habits might be weighing you down more than food. There's something profoundly healing about beginning the day with gratitude. In Japan, this isn't just a habit, it's a way of life. Morning often begins with a bow, a quiet walk, or a simple tea ceremony where every motion is deliberate, every breath intentional. These rituals aren't about productivity, they're about presence. They remind the mind to slow down, to notice the world, and to begin from a place of calm rather than chaos. Science now proves what the Japanese have practiced for centuries. Gratitude and mindfulness lower cortisol, balance serotonin and dopamine, and create the emotional resilience necessary for lasting health. When your body feels grounded and safe, it releases the constant tension that drives overeating and cravings. Stress elevates cortisol, and cortisol, in turn, spikes blood sugar and insulin, the perfect storm for fat storage. But gratitude shifts your nervous system from fight or flight to rest and digest. It turns off the alarm bells and allows your metabolism to function as it was meant to, steadily, efficiently, and effortlessly. That's why this mindset pairs so beautifully with the carnivore lifestyle. When you simplify your food, you free up space to nourish your mind. Every meal becomes an opportunity to give thanks, not just for the food, but for the clarity, strength, and healing your body is experiencing. You begin to realize that discipline isn't punishment, it's gratitude in motion. Choosing what serves your body isn't restriction, it's respect. Try beginning each morning with 3 things you're grateful for. They don't need to be big. Maybe it's the warmth of your coffee, the quiet before sunrise, or simply the fact that your body is healing in ways you can't yet see. The act itself rewires your brain. Over time, gratitude reshapes your internal dialogue from I have to into I get to. That single shift changes how you eat, how you move, and how you see your reflection in the mirror. Japanese culture has always understood that emotional balance is the foundation of physical health. A calm mind digests better, sleeps deeper, and releases fat more easily. The more peace you cultivate internally, the less you'll seek it in food or extremes. Gratitude teaches patience, and patience allows transformation to last. So as you go about your journey, eating simply, living mindfully, and moving consistently, remember that gratitude is the invisible multiplier behind it all. It's what turns discipline into joy and effort into ease. What's one daily gratitude practice that's changed your mindset or made your fat loss journey feel lighter?